So let's move on to wine number 3. And now we are going again a little bit more north. We go back to Scandinavia and we are going to Sweden. And yeah, right at the moment, actually, with the great Swedish wine tasting only being like a couple of weeks in the past, it is very difficult to talk about Swedish wine without talking about this specific wine by Kullabergs, the Immelen. And yeah, let's give you a little bit of like background information. So Felix Åberg, who is the head winemaker at Kullabergs, also will be one of our speakers, introducing us to the beauty and variety of Swedish wines at the Cool Climate Wine Summit. And he's also like one of the people who put this like idea in the world of having a great Swedish wine tasting. And the whole idea here was together with some of his colleagues in the commercially oriented Swedish Wine Association, to create a tasting that is inspired by the judgment of Paris, naturally, where they taste, let's say, the best Swedish wines in a blind tasting against big, well-known international wines. And here they invited a range of like top judges going through this blind tasting. Among them was Dr. Jamie Goode from the UK, who is also like another one of our speakers at the Cool Climate Wine Summit. And yeah, what happened in this tasting? First, surprisingly, Germany, Swedish wine won. Yeah, okay. So the best overall wine in this blind tasting has been the Swedish wine. And it actually has been Kullabergs Immelen. And this comes not really as a surprise, because it has been for a long time one of these like Swedish flagship wines. I just want to read up for you what Madeleine Stenvres, master of wine from Sweden, was writing about Immelen. She was saying, Immelen was a real eye-opener for me, a wine from the Nordics which makes a confident statement of what this emerging, seriously cool climate region is capable of, and where the sum is greater than its part. As much as its aromatic is driven with a pretty elderflower lift, it shows a lovely flinty edge which gives it a bit of attitude which harmonizes nicely with its textural qualities. A really clever wine. So that is basically what Madeleine Stenvres was writing about this wine. And I want to give you another review to just show how the international critics, the international experts perceive what Felix Åberg is doing here at Kullabergs. Jamie Goode was writing on wineanorak.com, and I'm linking to all those things in the show notes. He's saying about Kullabergs Vingården Immelen 2021. This is highly aromatic with sweet grape and Turkish delight notes, as well as some apricot and spice. The palate is dry and fruity with some exotic apricot notes, as well as a nice spice overlay. Tastes like a dry Sauterne, really delicious and rich, 92 out of 100 points. So with those, like, let's say, international remarks going into tasting this wine, we already can see two things. First and foremost, Swedish wine is definitely something that is on the edge of becoming internationally recognized as extremely high quality. And this is also something we want to showcase at the Cool Climate Wine Summit. And secondly, Solaris plays a massively important role in defining naturally the touch and the perception that we have about Swedish wine. So a well-made Solaris from Sweden is an absolute delight, and this wine is a very, very good example here. But let's taste the wine, the Immelen. It's kind of a lovely example, and we just said like about the wine from Vineyard Satona that we can see, okay, it's coming more like again from, let's say, a warmer climate, or it's basically like more mature than the one from Kullaberg in north of Denmark. But here, yeah, you can clearly see in the color already, like we very much go into the lemon color here. So we should expect maturity naturally. And something that strikes us immediately in the nose is oak. So actually, I would say new oak. There's a very nice buttery, creamy vanilla and malolactic hint. Vanilla, baking spice. There's definitely some, again, malolactic, full blown out, Parmesan cheese, some yogurt touch, some really lovely yellow apple, yellow pear, mature fruit, unripe pineapple, very peachy, definitely. Very structured, much more structured, that we here feel again that we are more on the north, because the acidity here is striking. Here, by the way, 13% alcohol. I would not have expected that, I must say. But it all goes together, like Madeleine Stenvres says, a very, very clever wine. it all goes together in some kind of like unity. So the alcohol gives like an extreme body. We have some very lovely maturity here. Solaris really shows here its potential as a cool climate grape, especially grown in the right microclimate and the right terroir. And the acidity still is absolutely striking, which probably like speaks of very lovely day and night contrast that we have here. And it shows really here in the glass. Oh, this is a very wise and clever decision, because we get a wine with an enormous level of maturity, nice acidity, nice structure, nice body. The flinty and edgy, definitely get it. It's very mineral, it's very sweaty, so to say, also like saline structured, really beautiful, complex. It's an amazing wine to try. I can definitely urge you to come to the Cool Climate Wine Summit and meet Felix and join his masterclass on Swedish wines and try this wine. This is an open invitation